Yes, you read that right, you guys. I have a problem, a consistent problem, and it's this. That's my problem. So much so that I decided to make a video about it and get to the bottom of it, because it's affecting not only my channel and the content, but it's affecting my physical health, and it's starting to stress me out and affect my mental health. So I want to dig into this because I feel like this is one of those topics that, as mountain bikers or outdoor enthusiasts, anyone that plays sports, you go through things like this. I would love for you guys to leave some comments below after I get into this and let me know what you think and if you have had situations like this in life. I'll meet you on the other side of the little intro, and we'll get into this for a little bit. All right, you guys, let's get into it. So I decided to talk about this subject because I think that I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my riding and my mental state when I ride, and why I keep getting hurt or why I keep crashing. It seems like this year I've been on the mend almost as much as I've been able to ride. And the frustration with that, having a channel that I do full-time now, there's some mistakes I'm seeing that I've made up to this point that I'm trying to maybe work through and talk about. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of off the cuff go through that a little bit with you. When I usually crash, I'm pretty good about giving myself the time to heal. It's one of the things I'm seeing in my life that I know better to do, that I haven't been giving myself the time to do. I usually don't like waiting the amount of time to fully recover. I'm pretty good with pain. I'm borderline masochistic because I deal with physical pain really well. I don't crave it, I'm just used to it. As an ex-professional skateboarder, getting hurt every single time I rode, whether it be a shin bite or a hot pocket or the board just snapping you in the shin consistently and constantly. It's just part of life, and it's part of progression in skating. When I started mountain biking, it felt the same way. A pedal to the back of the leg. You're hitting up prickers and scratches almost every ride, and the crashes were a little bit more gnarly than my skate ones because they don't happen as often, and some of them actually felt like a car crash. That sounds crazy. I used to be more aware of that when I didn't have a channel, to be honest with you. I would just kind of like, okay, it's gonna take about 2 weeks, I'll go to the gym. This past year, the gyms have been closed. I've been really bad about exercising off the bike. I had a video previously about me drinking beer too much, you know, things like that. This past year's been crazy. So along with that, one of these things that I found is that if I'm not on the bike, I'm not really being active. That impatience has made me want to get on the bike quicker. And also with what I do is that if I'm filming a video, I will just kind of jump in from, you know, an injury and forget about building up the confidence right back into like a skill-based ride where I'm doing drops and jumps and things like that. Whatever the reason is, every time you crash, it takes a little bit more off the top of the confidence level, right? You drain it a little bit further. So what I found myself doing in that hole is like forgetting about that, pushing past the anxiety and the stress of like your confidence not being there, and forcing myself to do some things that maybe my brain was hesitant about. I'm looking back and seeing myself going off a jump or going off a drop and lacking that positive confidence that I used to talk about, where I could see myself through it and just saying, hey, Let's just get this over with. All right, dropping. How not fun does that sound? I don't ever want to feel like I'm doing something I love or care about and just think, hey, let's just get this over with. It's not doing the dishes. You're on your bike, you're in a beautiful place, you're in the woods, you're at a fun feature, you're here with buddies. All those things are positive, but when the pressure kind of takes over, that stuff takes a back seat, and that is something that I never wanted to be a part of this channel. Pulling back a little bit from that thought is that I actually had this happen to me in skateboarding. When I used to skate for a living in my 20s, the pressure mounted to do bigger things, to do bigger handrails. I ended up tearing my ligaments, took me out for a year, and then instead of going to therapy, I jumped right back in and tried to skate like I did before. I ended up feeling really just overwhelmed because my leg wasn't strong enough. I didn't take the proper precautions to build it back up. It just forced me to make an early choice to end my skate career. But because that did happen, I'm very aware of that feeling. And when I think of a mountain bike ride, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel like it's a stressful thing or I have anxiety about doing it. Obviously, we get nerves and things like that when we're about to do a big feature or we're going for a heavy ride we haven't done. But I do not want that to creep into the mind state I have about riding in general. I love mountain biking too much. I love doing this channel too much to feel that burnt out feeling, and it just started to nestle its way in there a little bit in my brain. So I want to take that moment and talk about it and pull back and make sure that I proceed with caution and in a safe way, not only physically but mentally. Otherwise, not only will the channel fail, but I will fail in my personal life because I've ruined something that was so near and dear to me. All right, I don't want this rant to go on forever. I will just say I started this channel, it was based around appreciating the ride as a whole, appreciating the journey as much or even more as the destination. This channel didn't start because of sessions and big drops and gnarly features, and I've gotten kind of caught up in my skill progression to a point where I feel like it's kind of borderline unhealthy. And that's not to say I'm not gonna keep pushing my skills, because I will. I just have to do it in a balanced, healthy way. This channel is about appreciating the moments, appreciating the stations. The appreciation station came into this channel because of my passion for stopping on the trail and taking in the surroundings. Mountain biking takes us to beautiful places and you have to stop and take a look around. Woo! Look at that view. Otherwise, you're gonna miss out on those moments that are buried in memories in your head. I'm talking to you as much as myself on this as a reminder, so thank you for sticking around and listening to my little rant. I'm doing some self-discovery and some kind of like mental changes in life after this pandemic. I've recently been out in public again and it feels amazing and weird at the same time. Something about being alone for so long with just like around my wife and the dog and being around people in the masses again, I'm just feeling like weird. We're acclimating to a lot of things in life and I just want to pay attention to nuances before they get bigger. When I was younger, I didn't know how to do that or know myself well enough to pay attention to those things. So with that, I'm gonna say thank you for watching. Join me on Patreon if you want to support the channel further. There's a link here and below. That's it, you guys. Appreciate your support. Thanks for being a part of the channel and watching me every week. And with that, I'll see you next week. Over and out.